shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
You can begin, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bob Duffy, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Erie County Stadium Corporation for Monday, March 10th, 2025. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. We welcome public comment on today's agenda items. I will note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 4:30 p.m. on Friday. I'd like to state for the record that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items. I'll also note that we do not have members of the public attending today's meeting. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the agenda items. If so, I would ask you to just please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will be sure that you may recuse yourselves from any discussion or voting on such an item. So. Hearing none, our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the directors meeting of March 11th, 2024. Chance, any questions, comments, or deletions in the minutes?
Because the period is missing.
Where, got a close reader. Where's that?
So
What page?
page 4,
Page 4.
which is part of what because I asked the question I noticed. After the word very limited,
Yeah, in the third paragraph.
Yes.
Very limited period.
yes.
I want to play nice.
It's reviewing vouchers.
And then it bring you on our next walk over.
That's been rectified. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'll ask Steve Bernelli, the corporation's president, to present our final agenda item, a request for authorization for the corporation to adopt its operating and capital budgets for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. Steve?
Great. Thanks, Bob. Good morning, everybody. New York State finance law requires that prior to the commencement of this April 1st, which is our fiscal year beginning, that the state and corporation adopt an annual operating budget and capital budget, which are both attached here in the materials. The operating budget proposes a total of just over $700,000 in personnel services, salary and fringe benefits for the 4 employees of the corporation, as well as approximately $2.2 million in non-personnel services. And this is primarily for our consultants as well as legal fees. For a total operating budget for fiscal year 25-26 of $2,992,876. On the capital side, and completely separate from our operating budget, the sole capital project being funded by the corporation, as everyone knows, is the design and construction of the new Buffalo Bills Stadium. New York State, through the Empire State Development, will provide $600 million for the project that was already approved by the corporation's board of directors. This year, we're anticipating a capital budget of approximately $275 million. And just so everyone knows, we do expect that during this upcoming fiscal year, we will spend out all of the state's contribution, as well as the counties, before the end of this fiscal year, so that going into next year, any additional project costs will be borne fully by the bills. Approval of the corporation's budgets constitutes a Type 2 action as defined by seeker in the implementing regulations of the New York State DEC. No further environmental review is required with this request. So based upon the foregoing, the directors are requested to ratify and approve the corporation's proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget in the amount of $2,992,876 and the capital budget in the amount of $275 million, as well as authorize the corporation to enter into a memorandum of understanding with ESD to administer these funds and to take all related actions.
Thanks, Steve. Any questions or comments for directors? Brett?
Could you just give us a high level, particularly with the changes in the budget, why items went up? Salaries are a portion of fringes, fringes are a portion of salary, but was it because you said 4 staff, you're keeping 4 staff, so are these just raises or cost of living? What are these increases in larger items? Are we doing more consultants?
Sure. Well, on the personnel side, it is about an 11% increase for salaries and fringe over last year's estimate. That amount is actually provided by Empire State, our subsidiary finance. And again, I do think that assumes cost of living wage increases for the year, as well as the increase, as you said, in the fringe benefits. On the non-personnel or the consulting side, it's about a 14% increase from last year. That's predominantly lateral construction services. They have a number of sub-consultants, and they're in the field for us on a regular basis. We added additional inspection for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. We brought on 2 additional staff to oversee that because we're really ramping up into that phase. So a good portion of the increase is really to have those additional folks around in the field.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Seeing none, as noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public with regards to these items, so and I'll entertain a motion for approval. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, motion carries. There's no further business. Does anyone have any direction, any questions? No. See no further business, I'll have a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? Thank you very much for today's participation in the meeting. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.